What is the difference between black hat SEO, white hat SEO, and in between gray hat SEO? These terms came about because there's different strategies of quality versus quantity in SEO. So let's break down the three core pillars of SEO. The first one is your website structure. Does it have a good design? Is it clean and mobile friendly to use? Does it load quickly? The second core pillar of SEO is content. You can only show up on Google for what Google can read. So do you have value added content? And the third category is external credibility. The third pillar is largely backlinks, citations, reviews, and mentions. You can do more or less and higher quality or quantity between those three variations. When we talk about black hat SEO, it's like all the corner cutting things. What are the hacks that you can do? This is where you go high risk, high reward kind of thing. I'm not endorsing black hat SEO by any means, and I've never been a fan of personally engaging in it, but I can't deny that I haven't seen it work sometimes. But the problem is it's not sustainable. Some examples might be mass produced, low quality AI content. So on that second pillar, like instead of focusing on really good, relevant, unique, value added content, let's just flood the website with mass produced content. It's quantity over quality. Now, I have seen new websites rank pretty quickly, but they last maybe a couple weeks and that's it. Or if you're lucky, a couple months. And then you get penalized into oblivion. If you're gaming the system and maybe just doing some random affiliate sites and you don't really care about the reputation, sure, I guess you could turn and burn some websites. And the same thing applies to backlinks. What's mind-blowing to me is that way back in 2011, Google came out with an algorithm update that really focused on shifting quantity backlinks to quality. And so these old school link directories and things like that used to work really well. Every once in a while, I see some random person make a post about how they just spammed out a ton of automated links, and a big chunk of them are old school things that should have been penalized by Google Penguin. So their link directories, their 2.0 directories, their social bookmarks, their forum signatures. Like if you know anything about these spammy links, you can read about them in my book Outrank. And in it, we talk about how these don't work. And every once in a while, I just see this random website where it does work. But again, it's the same risk and reward. You might get this to work for a few weeks or maybe a few months. But then once Google catches on, that website's never going to rank again. If you're running a brand, you probably don't want to do that. If you're just messing around, can't say I haven't seen it work. On the other side of that, we have white hat SEO. And white hat SEO is when you do things all quality control, you focus on quality over quantity, you have really well, often manually written content or at least manually edited content. You focus on telling stories and aligning with pre-qualified buyer intent content instead of flooding your website with content. I'll give you an example. Like for our average client, we focus on maybe 2 to 4 pieces of well-produced, well thought out, pre-qualified content topics per month. That's it. And then we talked to a lot of other people that came from another SEO where they weren't performing and they're getting crushed and they're losing traffic, and they were doing like 10, 20, 30 articles a month, but it was largely AI written and non-unique or using some sort of tool, and they were focusing on quantity instead of quality. Like what you're watching so far, do me a favor and like and subscribe. I don't know which content brings you value unless you tell me. So liking and subscribing will help me know to make more of these videos, solve more of your problems, answer more questions, and help take you to the next level. Do that now, like, subscribe, back to the video. It's pretty interesting when you shift your mindset that quality and white hat is much more sustainable. There's also that, right? Like SEO is either time or money. If you're willing to put in the time, white hat is much more valuable. So in between, obviously gray hat means you don't really push the limits all the way into the black hat side of things, but maybe on the content side, every once in a while you sprinkle in some AI generated content, or maybe you kind of mass produce AI generated content, but then you go in and massage it a little bit manually. Or on the link side of things, maybe you go by a few sketchy links here and there, but then you offset it with some really good quality ones. It's like, where do you push the boundary? It also depends on your industry too. What a lot of people don't realize is you don't need a million backlinks. What you want to look at is your competition. The amount of links you need to be competitive is dependent on those people that are in your way, that have the positions that you want. Use a tool and go look at the quantity of backlinks that your top competitors have. And if they only have 100 linking domains, now notice I said domains because there's a difference between domain count and link count. You could have one domain with a million links. We want to focus on the unique domains. If you see your competitor, they have 100 linking domains and 1 million links, focus on the 100. If you have maybe 20, you actually don't need to crush them. You don't need to come in and go from 20 to 200. You just go maybe from 20 to 50 and then offset that with real high quality content. You'd be really surprised at the level of clients that we serve that we actually are pretty passive on the backlinks. We double down on quality content. If you really engage your audience with high quality content, then you're going to attract some of those links naturally because people are going to share the value added content. And those value added high quality, low quantity links go a lot further than 1,000 low quality links. There you have it. What's the difference between black hat, white hat, and gray hat SEO?